On a peaceful island, there was a virus known as the shadow disease. Those infected with the disease would be killed and replaced by their shadow counterparts. The shadow people would kill all the island's inhabitants in 3 days. Jack had just returned to his hometown when he was killed by the shadow of his childhood friend. However, he had the ability to rewind time. He then saw George performing CPR on Nina, who was drowning. Just as he was about to speak, he found himself back on the boat on the first day. Jack checked his phone in horror and discovered that he had gone back a day. Upon returning to the island, he found that Lily was still there to greet him, just as in his memory. Then, she fell into the water. But this time, Jack noticed that the bicycle's brake line had been cut. Jack arrived at the funeral once again and finally realized that he wasn't dreaming. The next day, Lily's family would still go missing. He leaned against the seaside wall to try and gather his thoughts when a voice interrupted him. He saw Lily, who should have been in the shower, standing outside in her uniform. Jack watched as Lily stabbed Bobby with a knife. There was a flash of light, and Bobby's shadow began to change, eventually transforming into Bobby's form. Shadow Bobby bent down and touched the body, and suddenly, Bobby's body disappeared, leaving only a human-shaped black shadow in its place. Then Jack overheard two shadow people conspiring to kill the original Lily. He clamped his mouth shut to avoid making any noise. Just then, Jack's phone rang, and when he was discovered, Lily killed him with a single stab. However, the shadow people did not intend to replicate him. Before he could hear the reason, he was sent back to the first day. This time, he was directly transported to the spot where he first arrived on the island. Lily once again arrived on her bicycle with the faulty brakes to greet him. Recalling Nina's warning, Jack reached out to stop her, but he was knocked into the sea by Lily. That evening, recalling the few clues he had, Jack was in great distress. To prevent the tragedy of the previous night from repeating, he called Officer Bobby and falsely claimed that there was a brawl on the shopping street. This successfully kept Bobby from his patrol and saved him from being killed.